Hello and welcome to Tabletop Simulator How To. Today I'm going to show you some simple things on how to get your game uploaded into Tabletop Simulator. It's as simple as MS Paint. Honestly, you can make it in MS Paint. You could also make it on index cards and upload literally just pictures of your game that you have that is made by hand. So I'm going to show you today how to upload your cards, how to start a new game, how to make custom dice, and how to find anything you might need in the workshop, as well as how to upload your game to the workshop if you are wanting to share it with your classmates for blind playtesting, and how to start a server for when you are ready to playtest. Okay, I'm going to save this beautiful picture of my tabletop simulator, and I'm going to call it TTS. It's very important to name your files. I don't do that, but you should. Okay, so the first thing we need to do in Tabletop Simulator is actually not open Tabletop Simulator quite yet. We're going to need cards, and we are going to need files to put in Tabletop Simulator. I'm going to give you an example of a game that I'm working on. It is a 16-card game, and I'm going to show you how I would put it into Tabletop Simulator. There's many different ways. Now, I really like to use what you would call I like to use the simplest format. So I'm going to do everything I have in slides. You are welcome to do it in any format that you'd like. So I'm going to work on this new game. It's called In-Sync Skating. And it is a cute little card game where you are figure skaters and you're trying to do the mind style. Now I am going to find out what size these cards I want to be. So if I look up what a poker size card is, now, if you're in the UK, everything's going to be in metric, but I'm going to do it in imperial. Is that what they call it today? So I'm going to start a new presentation and get these cards that are on a sheet with each one on their own page. So I'm going to go to slides, page setup, and then I'm going to set my page to be 2.5 by 3.5, which is the size of a card. Very nice. And then I'm going to work on copying my cards over to there. And usually they're around the same size because that's how they were in printing. So we have our girl here. I'm only going to show you 3 cards today just because I don't want to take up all your time with me uploading things. But I'm going to show you how that would work. So we're going to upload 3 different cards to Tabletop Simulator. There's probably a faster way I could do this, but this is just the way I would. Okay, so we have 3 cards from my 16-card game, and we are going to make a deck of 3 cards today. So what we're going to do is we're going to name it Sample Cards, and then we're going to download each item as a PDF. A PNG or a JPEG. Either one will work. However, PNGs are more favorable as well than JPEGs, but pretty much both will work. So I'm gonna file download each PNG. And now I'm going to make these into a custom deck in Tabletop Simulator. Now we're still not opening Tabletop Simulator yet. We're going to go to our File Explorer, and then we're going to go to this PC, go into our local disk, and under Program Files x86, we're going to find Steam. Now, you might not have bought your game on Steam, but this is probably where you can find it. Under Steam, Steam Apps, Common, and under Tabletop Simulator. Under Tabletop Simulator, there's a modding folder. Under this modding folder, under Deck Builder, you can find the TTS Deck Editor. So once you have that, you'll have this little program that opens up, and it makes a deck size that's 10 by 7. And when you open it up, it's completely blank. But as you drag and drop files in, you're going to start to see it generate. You can have up to 70 cards per deck. So I'm going to drag and drop my first card, my second card, and my third card from my downloads. And then you can save this so you can keep editing the same deck. Like, let's say you have rules for to change. So you can go File, Save Deck. But right now, I'm just going to export it. And it's going to export it as a PNG. So it says to imager. I don't really know why, but it's fine. So we're going to go to there, and we're going to put it on our desktop. And I'm going to call it test. And then that will be a PNG. Now I'm going to show you how to upload it to Tabletop Simulator. So we're going to open up our Tabletop Simulator. We'll go back to the main menu. I'm going to create a single player area. And then you can either start off by doing a classic, doing a custom board, or what I really like to do is the tools, because the tools are going to be things that you end up kind of needing a lot. So I have my little tools area, and this has things that you might need: point counters, music. You don't need the music player, but it has things you might need. And I'm going to show you how to upload a deck. So under objects and components, and under either custom or cards, I like to do custom. And I'm going to go to custom deck. Now, you are going to upload that wonderful, let's find it. Where's our test? Our test file. And we're going to need a picture for our back of our card. Now, if your card has unique backs, I had a game where every card had a unique back, you're going to need to make a second deck that is all the backs of the cards. So you'll need to make a second deck for that using the deck editor. The back, this is the worst part because I always forget to do it. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to find a picture of a roller skate or an ice skate and download that real quick. So here's my back of my card. Honestly, you can just make it white. PNG. Perfect. Then I'm going to go and upload my back file, which is in my downloads. Now it has the height and width to 10 by 7, just like how you did it in the deck editor, but we can change the number of cards to how many you have in your deck. So I only have 3 cards, so I'm only going to have a 3-person deck. And then I'm going to import it. So here, usually if the card is blank, it'll be black. You can see here, if I flip these cards over, it's my custom deck of cards. Now, these cards can be stacked on top of each other. They can be shuffled, given out to players. Very useful. Now, you can do this with many different things. You can do this with tiles, with tokens, with everything else that you have in a game. But this is how you upload cards. Now, let's say you have like a board. Same thing. You're going to upload an image. But because it's not like a stack of something, you're only going to need it to do it once. If you have tiles, similar. You can do this by hand. I don't know if you can do this by stack or if you have to do it by, let me just check that real quick. There is a way of doing a bunch of them at once. So I'm going to test. Sorry, something's alerting me to the here. Yep, I'm staying in the call. And the bottom image is going to be our sample card. Let's see what happens. So yeah, the tiles need to be done one at a time. There's probably a way to automate that, but for right now, tiles are one at a time. Cards can be done in a deck. Anything like with figurines, again, you're going to upload one image and a back image, things like that. Now, we're going to talk about dice, on how to upload dice, and then also how to find items that you may need, like spinners. There are some cool scripting things you can do that a lot of our previous people did, but it's really not necessary. So, we had a lot of people who are very interested in making dice. There is a custom dice tool. Now, the custom dice tool, I have one already set up, and I have it, it's a D4, and I already have one set up that I can use. Let's see, where is it? I'll show you that. So all you do is upload it from the template, and now I'm going to show you where to find that template. So you'll see I made a custom D4 where I replaced one of the numbers with a color, and you can roll it. You can do everything you need like that. Now, how do you find this in your game? Well, you're going to go back to that same area we had before where you are going to find under local disk, program x86, and under Steam and Steam apps, under common and tabletop simulator. And under modding, there is something called dice templates. Now you can copy any of these templates. I'm going to copy the D4, and we're going to find out how big this file is. So I copied it, I put it on my desktop, and then I'm going to show you how to find it. So it's on my desktop. I'm going to click Edit, File, and then you can find out what the properties are. So by going to Properties, you can find out how big it is. I like to go by inches, so it's 28.44 by 28.44. And then you can pop images in here using like MS Paint. But if you want to make it look a little bit more professional, I'm going to show you how to add it into slides instead. So in slides, I set the page size to be 28.44, which was the width and height of the picture. I uploaded it as a picture to the document, and then I went and I added the things I needed. So you could add all different colors, pictures, whatever you need here. So that was 1, 1, and 1. Okay, so now I'm going to download this as a PNG. Download as a PNG. And when I go over here, I'm going to show you how I uploaded it again. You just select it, select the type of die it is, and then you're going to click on the file and upload it. And you'll see here, I have a custom die. So that is a great way to add a custom die, a custom board, and a custom deck to your game. You're going to find all of these in our components area. And there's a lot of things that you can use that you don't have to have custom. So you could use like RPGs for animals, for like figurines. So you don't have to make them by scratch. Or you can find Go tokens and boards and marbles and all sorts of things. Something I found that's really useful, if you can't find a specific item you need, we actually used the one way is by, if you have like a website, like let's say you need a spinner, and I go to Google and I look up a spinner on the tablet. I can click on Wheel of Names and upload and find my Wheel of Names that I made and just spin that. So I don't need that over here. Or what I can do is I can find it in the workshop. So I'm going to show you how to go to the workshop. Now in the workshop, we're going to leave Tabletop Simulator and we're going to go into Steam. This is also going to be where you put your files for when you want to share your game out with people. So if I go into Tabletop Simulator, under Workshop, I can find, what do I need? I need a spinner. Here's a customizable flick spinner, a scripted spinner, anything you might need. You can also find a lot of great games that Emerson talks about in there. So I subscribe to it to download. And when I click subscribe, it will show up in my custom as a game. So I'm going to show you how to turn that game into a custom object. Okay, so we go back to Tabletop Sim. I'm going to have to go back now. This sort of page will autosave, but if you feel a little insecure about that, you can go to games and do save and load. And I'm going to save this as save game as test. And that way you can always go back to it. It's also good for when you're making different versions of your game. So if I go back to main menu, I don't even need to, I can just go to games, but whatever. Single player, and I'm going to games, and I'm going to click on this customizable spinner. Now, this is really helpful for people who need spinners in their game. They can customize it. They can do things to it. See, he uploaded a picture. I would probably download this picture and then edit it if you need to that. But some people just need a simple spinner. So how do you take this object and add it to your game? Because right now it's by itself. So if you right-click it and do Save Object, and you call it, I'm going to call it Customize Me. And I go back to my game called Test. And I need that object. I can go to Objects, and then under Saved Objects, I can pull the Flick Me item. So that's great if there's anything that you need, something scripted, and you don't want to make it. You can find it on Workshop. Now, let's say you want to play this game that's very boring because it's just a calculator and a bunch of counters and stuff with people. The way you can play it, you can do two things. You can either, if your game is completely finished and ready to like almost be showed to a publisher, you can save it as a workshop. Now, workshop games, they require screenshots, they require a page picture, and for you to give it a title as well as a thumbnail. So this requires a lot more work, and it's really only for when your game is finished. I have a couple of those. And if you were trying to do blind play testing. But if you're just trying to play with friends, we can go back to that main menu, and we can create a multiplayer game. Now, my server name is book. I've set for public. My server password is book, and I set a max players to it. I can create a server, add in any game I want. So I'm going to add in my test game. And this is very cool, though. Honestly, like, I like this better. I like to use that one better because I can just set it up on the web and then download it and put it on a tablet. And it makes that lovely noise. So honestly, using the tablet is very helpful for some things that you just can't find that you need. But this allows you to be in a room with different people. And when you're in a room with different people, they have there's a couple tools you can use. So if there's multiple people in there, they're going to have hidden information. They're going to have hands, so they're going to go over here. Now, if something is hidden, the person creating the game can make little boxes and put them in front of people and assign them to different colors. So that way they are not a blindfold, but a blindfold could be useful. So that way if there's something in there, people can't see it. It's a little fiddly, but a lot of times it will work. And you just have to assign the color to it. And that's by using the hidden icon feature. Now, let's say you're making a game that's really scrappy. The way I make games, I literally will just upload cards that I have. So in my downloads, I have literally a picture. I will use this picture of a bookmark, but I would not use a picture of a bookmark. But let's say it's a card with like handwritten stuff on it. You can upload it and it'll show up. So, like, even if you are making games by hand, you can literally just upload the picture of the game and it'll be the same way. If you want to make edits, you can add text to it. So you can write information here. You can draw on the page. There's so much you can do in Tabletop Simulator. Now you can get crazy with things, and I can do a further tutorial on how to use snap points. I will show you a game that I have snap points on, and I'm going to go over it briefly, but there's a lot more to it. I mean, there's not really that much more to it. I have my game, Mango. This is a game I sometimes sell my services of putting things on TTS for publishers. So like if they're getting ready for a Kickstarter, I do that. And you'll see here that these little guys go around the roll and move board or the little score tracker really nicely. Sometimes things will just fall all over the place. But here they'll snap into place. And that's by using something called snap points. Now, if we go to our bar over here and all the way to the bottom, there are these little green dots. And these little green dots you can create snap points. So you can put them on an icon, and then your token can snap to it. It's really good for things like tiles, because this is a deck that I made of cards, and they are all tiles that need to be placed in this area. And also, decks don't need to be completely like horizontal portrait, like a poker size card. Pretty much any image you upload, it's going to kind of switch itself to be that shape, whether you like it or not. But snap points are really great for that. And I like to make these custom tables. I like to make it beautiful for when I'm showing it to a publisher. I even upload my rules. But this is more of at the end. We just want your game to be uploaded. So I will be taking questions and answers on Discord, as well as you can feel free to email me at my Elevator account. And if you have any further questions, I'm going to do a screentop.gg at some point. It's not as popular and it's really limited, but it is really helpful if you're trying to playtest kids games or playtest games with families, with people who don't have access to Tabletop Simulator. So that's all for now, and we'll go back to my beautiful Tabletop Simulator. Thank you for watching my tutorial. There's so many more on the internet, but I hope this gave you a little breakdown of everything that you need to know, and feel free to ask me any questions. Bye!